Right, sent a reminder to myself, so when I get in, or I'll do it tomorrow. It's really not that deep, like it's not too like, but I just find it funny. Like, I like arguing with companies, like especially when they're in the wrong, because I thought about it and I thought, well, what if, right, that I had that policy and I didn't need to claim for a year or 2 years? You know, like in the past I've had breakdown cover that I hadn't used for like 5 years, like, so. And as well, like, I know like family members that have had breakdown cover for like 10 years and never used it once. So you would have paid all those thousands of pounds to the company and they would have never had you back in the first place. So that's just so wrong, and I don't like stuff like that, because like, I always think, like, what if that was my granddad? Do you know what I mean? Like, and he was stranded somewhere, or there's someone else that was really vulnerable and they desperately needed help, but the company told them to go and fuck themselves like they did with me. So yeah, I just don't like that happening. I just think it's really wrong, and I've got a voice, and I don't care about arguing with companies. I'll tell them straight, whereas someone else might not. So they need to know what they're doing is immoral and a mistake. Like, fair enough, if they're not doing it on purpose, then fair one. You know, things can slip through systems, etc. I understand that. However, with the attitude of like not doing anything and telling me to go and contact the RAC, and oh well, you know, it'd be different if it was their daughter. Like, I asked a bloke, I said, what would you do if this was your daughter? And he was like, oh, I wouldn't be very happy. I was like, well, exactly, so why are you doing it to me? And he was like, oh, well, I don't make the rules, I just answer the phone. And yeah, no, I get that, bro, but, you know, come now, there is something you can do. Like, on paper, I have cover, so just send the truck out to me, take me home, and then cancel it. Do you know what I mean? Do me a solid. Oh, I don't want to get in trouble. I was like, you selfish prick. Nah, not really. I think I've gone the wrong way. I really don't remember this. I really don't remember this, man. I've definitely gone the wrong way somewheres. Don't know where though. Fuck knows. Ooh, that was fun. Yeah, where the fuck did I go wrong? interesting. Whee. Yeah, definitely not what I remember. Yeah, boy! Man, this bike is so fun. I love it. See, it's weird because I remember the bridges because I rev bombed through them. So this is what's really weird. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the video again. I can't resist. It just sounds good. I love it. Here's a bridge. Yeah, so I don't get it. I don't know where I went wrong. I'm gonna watch both videos back to back and see. So the thing I love about this bike is that, in my opinion, this bike is a point A to point B bike. Right, it's all about acceleration, in my eyes anyway. That's what I get from riding it, because yeah, it will do. I think the most I've had out of it is like 100 and, oh, I need to go down there, bastard, I was distracted. Yeah, so as I was saying, in my opinion, this is a point A to point B bike. That's what I get from riding it. And the most I've ever had out of it was like 171 or 72. So, you know, it's not slow. It's not a slow bike. It will outdo most cars on the road, like your average cars. But saying that, this has been down geared slightly, so standard, no idea what it'll do, but I am going to put the gearing back to standard because I do want that extra little bit on the top end. So we'll see, but the acceleration on this bike is great. It is so cool, it's wicked. Like, it's such a thrill to ride. Like, you know, I ride the death out of this thing and I've never been bored, ever. Like, even on long rides, like, you know, on a 400-mile ride, when I stopped off and I was about 300 miles in, like, my back was a little sore, it's getting twingy, my wrists were a little bit sore, you know. And I didn't think, oh, for fuck's sake, just get it over and done with. I was like, oh man, there's like 100 miles left. Right, I'm gonna have to like really make a point to super enjoy this, because, you know, that's all that I've got left is 100 mile. So, you know, never ever get bored of this thing. And it's like, you know, that's why I think this is like perfect for like a UK bike for me anyway, because I don't travel at fucking 190 miles an hour everywhere, like on the motorway, so I don't really need massive top ends. Like, I do it because it's fun and I'm a dickhead, you know, but it's not like really important to me. So if we go from like 55, and we'll just accelerate up now. Like, it gets up to 130, 140 so fucking easily. Like, it's, you know, you know, the speed just keeps piling and piling on, no matter what. You know, you put the input to maximum throttle, that's what you get. This bike does not disappoint. I mean, I'm not skilled enough to push it to its limit at all. Like, nowhere fucking near. But I'm very appreciative that, you know, it has no driver aids. You know, so like nothing, nada. but it doesn't try to kill me, you know. I'm very appreciative of that fact. That's why we've got such a good relationship, me and Hulk. But I can totally see why. Like, by the way, I'm not saying, you know, driver age is a bad thing. Like, I think that if I had 180 brake horsepower R1, I would want traction control and anti-wheelie and shit like that, like an ABS, 100%. Because again, I'm not skilled enough to tame that lion. Like, over time I would be, just because of the way that I approach new bikes, like, and new equipment that I'm using. Like, I didn't get this bike and just jump on it and just rag the fuck out of it. It's a progressive thing with me. Like, I've always been like that, even with cars. Like, I get to know it, I put it around corners, I learn to see, you know, what happens, you know, how does it handle, like. So, you know, I build up to these sort of milestones of like full acceleration, you know, top speed. But the thing is though, like with any bike and car, it only goes as fast as what you tell it to. So, you know, it's down to you at the end of the day. And yeah, we all get that urge. I've spoken before about this. It's like a feeling, and it's like a sneeze. You can feel it building up inside of you, and you're just like, oh man, I just gotta, you know, pin it and go for it, fucking, you know, rag the nuts off it. I get that. We all fucking get it. You know, anyone that's into cars, if they say they don't get that, they're fucking lying, or bikes for that matter. But as long as you're sensible, I guess you can tame anything. You know, within reason. Like, I can't jump in a Formula 1 car and fucking, you know. But yeah, for me, for the UK, I think this bike's perfect. Like, my CBR 600RR, loved that bike. It was great, really, really nice bike. But I felt it could do with a bit more oomph. Like, you had to, not that you had to rev the nuts off it, but you couldn't get away with riding it under like 5,000 revs, like poodling around. Like, it would do it, obviously, but you'd just be forever. It sounded like it was bottoming out, really, and it was about to stall. But, you know, and it sounded lovely, that CBR. It was my dream bike. It was my absolute dream bike for years. And I always wanted a bike, but it was just never practical in my life. Like, I wasn't in a position where I could make that happen. I was into cars, and I had cars all the time. And I built up to having fast cars and that. So yeah, but now my life allows me to have a motorbike in it, and I take full advantage of that. So yeah, anyway, let's get home.